they do ensure that it will actually be given to an individual before they sign off and they agree to it. So family members, there's a whole society because they want to encourage, the idea of saving lives. And there was also the one piece where there was a situation where there was back in the day where people were dying, and they said that if you can find, the disease as a result of an autopsy, like literally it's what they call pikuach nefesh, right? It's people's lives on the line, right? If you find that there's a disease and you can look at the guy's liver or heart or kidneys and you can see what the disease is and create a cure, then in that situation you're allowed.
Immediate.
Right. Not from medical,
not medical research, it's instantly saving a person's life. So I think more or less through the discussion, people get a little clarity. If it's immediately going to help somebody, you're allowed to, if you know for a fact. And again, it's not going to compromise that person's life. You're talking about guys dead already, but if a person's alive, it doesn't compromise his life, or if it's going to immediately help somebody, you're allowed to. I think in a nutshell, it's very complicated, Motty.
It is.
And maybe another Sunday we could revisit this and analyze it a little bit more detailed, because it's a big, complex question. But let's jump here. We have our wonderful guest here in the Jewish studios of WNDB and 93.5. Adam, I don't know if you were listening early on.
I was.
Okay.
Welcome, Adam. Thank you for having me.
That's our pleasure. Adam, tell us first, I did know, I want to share with our listenership, Judge Report was obviously very high in shooting during the election period, covering the news, and that's when I get to know who really Adam was. I was one day just listening to the news on Judge Report, they have live stream of different kinds of broadcasting, and I go, heck, I know that voice, and then the man said, and this is Adam Taxin. I go, no way. This is Adam Taxin right here in our wonderful synagogue that comes here lots of times during the year, and he was a big voice during, the election, and I hear you're launching something new, Adam, if you don't mind. First, tell us more about Adam, what you do, and what are you launching? Come on, fill us in.
I've been flirting with the sort of radio internet thing the last few years, especially as the technology has evolved. What I think you knew, what you were talking about, and what a lot of the public knows me as, is the person who would often host the so-called pregame shows before Trump rallies, and I was doing that for Right Side Broadcasting Network, which is based out of Alabama. Not with them anymore, they still exist, but we've had in the works some other projects. Obviously, I wasn't going to be doing that too much after Election Day anyhow. And with some prominent members of your community who I've gotten close with, I love this community, first of all. Before I talk about me, I don't even want to talk about me. I want to talk about the community, and I'm really drawn to this area. It's just such a lovely community where people really look out for each other, and there's a camaraderie that you don't often find in all other Orthodox Jewish communities, and I want to give you personally a lot of credit for that, because this is your baby.
Thank you so much, Adam, for that beautiful kind words. Credit to the Lubavitch Rebbe who had vision to throw me into the city of Daytona Beach, and thanks to the community at large, because they get the credit for doing everything.
No, but I really mean that, and it's a place I could definitely see myself living. I'm divorced, so I don't necessarily have all the say where I live long term, but obviously if this new endeavor is a big success, I'm going to have a lot of reason I have to be around here.
Oh, that's nice. Really nice. So tell us, what is that big thing we're talking about?
The name is Shark Nation Radio, and before I even get into that, let me emphasize that there is a Facebook page for Shark Nation Radio. You should be able to find it. A YouTube channel already for Shark Nation Radio, and an app in the App Store and an app in Google Play. Because my rather young producers would have given me a hard time if I didn't mention that.
Okay.
And we are scheduled to debut at noon Eastern Time today on, you can find it in any of those places, but we have...
This is just strictly a web-based...
Yeah, but what difference does it make?
No, I just want to understand you can't turn on the radio in your car.
Right. I mean, maybe we
to use some kind of the app, for example, and just Bluetooth to your speakers, basically.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll be here at WNDB 1150 and syndicated, in thousands of stations around the world.
Clear channel.
But for this first thing, which I didn't even know was going to exist a week ago, they had plans, and I'm not the executive producer. A prominent businessman, I can mention him, named Shia Isaiah Fogel is, and we have two rather young producers who really are. I've worked with a lot of people with this stuff, and they're a testament to homeschooling and the school you have right here in Daytona, because they're good. I don't know if they want their names mentioned, but man,
is this launching today's the big
today at noon exactly.
What do you got lined up today, and what is it about?
Let me say, it's 100 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, give few seconds because we may be off with that because we have to do an intro at the beginning.
T-minus.
We'll be launching right after Trump took office. We will be launching, and we do have some good guests today.
Who?
Ben Shapiro is going to be the first one on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good guy. I don't know the order, but we're also going to have cartoonist Mike Lester, who lives up the road a little bit in the Jacksonville area. We pre-recorded that interview. We also have, who else did we do? A certain congressman who represents the 6th District, Congressman DeSantis, he's come on. And also a pretty big name, Jim Hoff, the Gateway Pundit. Obviously recorded that one. The Gateway Pundit obviously has been in the news a lot because a lot of the big media sources are not so thrilled that they have White House credentials and they have a reporter right there, Lucian Wintrich, and, it's shaking things up. He's big. It's like sort of second to the Drudge Report. And he came on, spoke with us for about 10, 12 minutes. That interview's going to
So let me ask you, you say you have Ben Shapiro on today, which I know he talks like bullets.
Yeah.
At speed of light he talks, but let me ask you a question. What is the topics? What are you discussing?
Well, we're talking in particular about Trump's first 100 days, but the way I operate as a host and this was true when I did the stuff for RSBN before the Trump rallies, when people have something and they're in a groove and they have something they want to talk about, let them go, just work with it. And I try to bring people back to the topic, but if we go off topic and it's something interesting, so be it. I haven't recorded the Ben Shapiro one yet. That's right after I leave here.
So they start talking about the portion of the Torah, you go with it.
Yeah, except I haven't reviewed this week's one. This is Harry Mose. What is that one again?
No, the past one was Tazri Mitzorah.
Yeah, I know that one. Don't be talking trash. I did it.
I was going to ask you that question because the Torah is so against gossip. So how does radio exist, or TV, or
There's music. There's music. You play your Jewish music. No, but I did deal with it because Debbie Schlussel was in the news last week.
Oh, really?
For yapping and yapping, and I tried to do a sunset report, which I do 3 reports each day, 6 days a week. I do a sunrise report, a midday report, and a sunset report on Facebook Live. Sometimes if I get my act together, I transfer them onto YouTube. But you can find me, Adam Taxin, and find those. But I was trying to deal with Debbie Schlussel being in the news somewhat notoriously, and the issue of Loshen Hara last week.
She was talking about gossip?
No. She would have been not talking herself. I think again, I don't want to talk Loshen Hara. Let's just say some chickens came home to roost in her particular case. And this is an Orthodox Jewish woman. So I tried to talk about that without crossing into Loshen Hara myself. And the woman holding the camera for me when I did that is also a member of the community who was supposed to set off a buzzer if I
So the word is, Adam, when you say Loshen Hara to our listenership, they're not familiar with these words. Loshen Hara is gossip. The Torah, the Bible, is very against gossip. It's one of the major sins that in itself really is not a sin, by the way. I'm going to tell you the rule about gossip. In itself.
I quoted you in that one. Your thing about just subtly insinuating so it'll set up a situation where gossip will be.
Exactly.
I quoted you on Friday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe not by name, but I did what you said.
The idea is people throw in a little hand grenade into a conversation, and they just set off a fire. Hey, Jack got a new car. They didn't lie. It's a true story.
Right.
But the purpose of saying Jack got a new car was, really? Where did he get the money? Why? Well, he's doing so good in business. And so goes it's just the conversation goes from there.
Even as you mentioned, right in the Torah, Miriam said, I'm a little concerned. I'm so concerned about my brother. He hasn't been spending much time with his wife.
Right? And there goes the whole story. So gossip, the Bible says, in itself is not a sin. But what gossip could do or bring upon a person, no sin in the world could do. You hear that rule? Gossip in itself, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just stating facts. But I'm spitting the facts to invite and to entice people to talk about that person. So what it will bring, no sin in the world could bring. And that's what's so scary about gossip. Which really, Adam, I know you're launching a program. I do radio too. And my question always was about radio. And I go back to what I said a moment ago. How, you look at the whole TV business, comedy, Saturday SNL, as they call Saturday Night Live, all that is gossip.
Well, by the way, I want to emphasize, speaking of Saturday Night Live, there is a great column written by a guy named Daniel Greenfield that came out, I think, on Thursday. I forget what it's called. Short title. You can find it at sultankanish.com. Just look at the Daniel Greenfield archives, and he talks specifically about Saturday Night Live and the whole
I don't mean that place. I don't mean that.
No, it's what you're talking about.
I mean, in general, comedians, what their gig is to make fun of people.
Sometimes.
I guess comedy's not comedy. They're not picking on
What happened to the positive one, though? Bill Cosby. Didn't work out so well for him.
Cosby, but
oh boy, what are we doing?
But he was known as the most positive one.
No, but there are comedians who basically poke fun at themselves, and those are guys you can get a good laugh.
Excuse me,
That's more like clean comedy.
I disagree. See, that's the beautiful thing about the Torah. You're not going to make fun of yourself too. You're not going to make fun of yourself. That's lashon hara. That's gossip on yourself. That's my point. It's a very tricky subject, and the business out there is gossip, and it's a big problem. A lot of people's lives were destroyed because of gossip. Yeah. Gossip is a story sometimes people just make up, and it's very hard to buy back your name. Yeah, it's a wildfire, and we know a lot of times it's baseless. It's just hurting a person's reputation, and it rips them down, unfortunately.
The challenge we have, and I have, is balancing what the Torah says there, and we do not shy away from showing our Jewishness on the show. But you have a certain element of the public interest. How do you talk about Anthony Weiner when that's a prominent news story and not cross the line into gossip? And I didn't worry about it. I would talk about things pretty openly during the presidential election, but you don't want to dwell on it. I think you don't say it more than you have to, but sometimes you have to say what's going on. It's a public interest show.
You have to say what you got to say, but you got to be careful how you say.
Oh yeah, and you'll call me out if I do, I'm sure.
Tell me, when is the program? Like, it's every Sunday? What is it? Give me how.
No, we're doing a special today to launch it at noon because people know me from the Trump rally coverage. Even though I'm having someone on who, as my first guest, who's pretty critical of Trump, who is known for that, Ben Shapiro. And then tomorrow I'm having a Democrat as a featured guest, potentially tonight, a future governor of Florida, Dave Ehrenberg.
When is the show on?
Sorry, I'll get to that. That's on at noon Eastern time. Noon Eastern time. It'll be, I think, about an hour today. I think we're doing a half-hour broadcast each day this week, and it may grow as we get the hang of it. 6 p.m. Eastern time during the week. Okay. It might be even an hour, but the nice thing about the podcast format is it's not so rigid the way the Jewish hour has to be off the air today at 9:59 and 59 seconds or whatever.
So it's going to be basically available for people to download and listen to. It's not going to be a live stream.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice if people listen live, but frankly, if there's a breaking coverage of an earthquake in Los Angeles, go watch CNN. I won't be offended because we don't have a camera crew there.
Well, don't watch CNN. Watch some other.
No, they're pretty good with breaking coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everything else, don't watch CNN.
Coverage, but
well, I know. I mean, they'll blame it on Trump and Russia, but, it's good.
Now we're going to politics. Let's stick back to the Jewish Sound Radio show.
Right. By the way, you didn't answer my question earlier. What is Parsha Acharei Mos about this week? I haven't reviewed it yet.
Acharei Mos, the exact translation means after the death of the two children of Aharon.
Okay.
That's the exact translation. They actually, on the day that the temple was dedicated, they were in a high, they walked in, and they passed away because they were somewhere they should not have been. And that's how they're opening the portion. It's, by the way, the reading of what we do on Yom Kippur, on the holiest day of the year. It also talks about the goat that they used to send down the hill, and on the holiest day of Yom Kippur, and one that they used to put on the altar. Anyways, we'll leave that for another Sunday.
Oh, and it says some of the less politically correct parts of the Torah.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean.
You remember that from day school.
All right. So, Adam, wrap it up because we got to just give us the name of the program, what time it is.
Oh, I didn't even mention the name, Backlash, which has a double meaning. We wanted to have something related to Shark Nation Radio because we wanted to emphasize the location, but not turn people off. Say, if people want to listen in Seattle, they well, what do I have to do with Daytona? But we wanted to have something related to where we are, and Daytona is, of course, the shark capital of the world. Just about technically it would be New Smyrna Beach, but it's something we think about when we want to go swimming in the ocean around sunset and sunrise here. So we wanted to tie that in. I was pushing for Pelican, but I got overruled by every single other person involved in the thought-making process. I like pelicans.
Yeah, you like pelicans.
I'd rather see a pelican at the beach than a shark.
But you want to talk to people, you say the word shark. You got their attention.
Yeah,
pelicans, let's go fishing on a mountain somewhere. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm just the so-called talent here. Others are making the decisions and producing the show.
I support shark better than pelicans.
Yes, so did everyone else. I love pelicans.
We can love pelicans, but it doesn't appeal to the masses.
I didn't win that vote. So it's Shark Nation Radio. Again, Google, you can get it at Google Play. You can get it at the App Store. You can tune in at sharknationradio.com. You can go on Facebook. You can see what we have up there. Just put in Shark Nation Radio, and you can go on YouTube.
God bless Adam and Adam should have a lot of success.
Having me on.
A lot of success, Adam. We should hear good news, and you should rock and make it to the top.
God bless you all, and thank you for having me on the station, and thank you for making me feel so included in this community. You're really doing something great here.
You're one of the brothers. God bless. bless you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
What's the wisdom? We got some words of wisdom?
Yes, we got
Motty, we're running out of time.
Speaking about fire, right? Fire, burning fire. Life is fire. It can burn with the angst of survival in a hostile world, or it can be harnessed to consume all fear. Stop, contemplate, meditate, and pray. Fan a fire of love and awe for the one that transcends this world. One fire swallows another, and you are set free, liberated from the fears, and face the world no longer as its slave, but as its master.
God bless you, Motty. The fire of God is always good.
Always.
Consumes the little fires. So why not go for the bigger fire?
Yeah.
Go for the bigger fire of Hashem.
Always. Why settle?
Exactly. And by the way, Motty, Adam, we know him for quite a while. He's been coming here for years, and he is a voice in the conservative world, I guess. You can see he's fired up, ready to rock and roll, and God should give him a lot of success in all his endeavors. And I forgot the name of the program again.
Shark Nation Radio. Backlash.
All right.
Where were you, Rabbi?
I was right here. I just didn't write it down. All right. Shark Nation Radio. Backslash? No.
Just, you can Google Shark Nation Radio.
And you get it.
Or Facebook. You see his Facebook page.
All right.
And you can download it from his website or, from probably some podcasting companies. And again, he has a live show. I mean, I'm sure if you check out the website, you'll probably get more details on the show times. And
I'm impressed he got Ben Shapiro for first run.
I like Ben.
Yeah, he got a mouth. And Yiddish word of the day.
I'm loyal.
Apisk. Go ask anybody out there who's listening today. I'm not even going to translate that one. You guys find out what means apisk. And he's sharpshooter. But anyways, that's beautiful that he has him under the first run. That's good. Yeah. That's good for his program.
Good visibility, and we wish him a lot of success.
Right.
All right, so I guess it's about time, right?
Yeah, we're going to say hi